The Trump campaign says that tens of thousands of people voted twice in Nevada, among other suspicious voting irregularities, they say. On Thursday, Trump campaign attorney Jesse Binnall told the judge that over 40,000 people voted twice, while 20,000 voters did not have a mailing address, and roughly 2,400 voters had an out-of-state address. The Trump attorney also said a local news station found that 1,500 ballots were cast under dead people's names. Binnall also argued that voting machines in Nevada's Clark County lacked proper security. Now, all of this information came out yesterday on Thursday as the Trump legal team held the hearings in front of a state judge on voter fraud.
The questions are, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And what do we do about it?
In Carson City, Nevada, the president's legal team continues the battle for election integrity following the reveal of repeated instances of fraud. On Thursday, Trump campaign attorney Jesse Binnall addressed the court by saying early policy decisions made by state election officials set the state up for failure months before the election ever took place.
It became a real problem in this election, and it was not an unforeseeable problem. It was a problem that people were making clear all along, that there was going to be issues if we didn't take robust efforts in order to make sure that every voter was only voting once.
Binnall specifically highlighted changes to general election procedures that removed restrictions on mail-in voter registration.
This was made worse, as Mr. Gessler's expert testimony makes clear, by the legislature's decision to adopt AB 4 and take us to a system of universal mail voting at very much the last minute.
Democrat Governor Steve Sisolak signed Assembly Bill 4 into law in August in response to the pandemic, promising a, quote, fair and accessible election. But due to the new policy, the number of mail-in ballots cast increased from 6,300 in 2016 to more than 690,000 in 2020. Come Election Day, the wave of mail-in ballots on top of record-high in-person turnout overwhelmed poll workers.
As a result, there was a system that was ripe for the picking when it came to fraud, and the fraud came.
Binnall said these workers went on to restrict meaningful access to Republican poll watchers, who were then unable to monitor and ensure the accuracy of the counting process.
Election officials planned and implemented an election system that would be highly susceptible to fraud, that it would ignore the best practices developed over the years, and eschew meaningful observation.
The president's campaign has argued in every state where it has filed a lawsuit that the push for election integrity supersedes any political agenda, and that upholding the integrity of American democracy is the primary goal of their legal battle.
Transparency is not political. Transparency is something that is necessary for us to have a democratic election, to have integrity in that election so that we know that it is the candidate chosen by the voters that is the one actually elected.
Judge James Russell has said he wants to review all of the evidence presented and will make his decision Friday.